Hit that like button as you come in. Vinny's Talk. Let's go. Welcome to Vinny's. Welcome to Vinny's Talk. Welcome, you guys. Hit that like button right as you coming in. We got Lil Ma, Lil T, Lil Leashy. Anyways, guys, welcome to Vinny's Talk. Hit that notification bell, like button, subscribe to the channel. What's up, guys? Welcome to Vinny's Talk. Welcome to the channel. Anyways, we're going to get back into this Idaho 4 case and some of the breaking news and reports coming out. Once again, these are just my opinions and my thoughts, my theories, and my opinions on stuff, guys, right? First, I want to say rest in peace to Maddie, Xana, Ethan, Kaylee, the 4 students that were brutally murdered inside their college home on November 13th. And, you know, we talk about these murders and all these different reports that are coming out, and especially this new news that I was reading, you know, that Xana, I have a lot to say about this, but Xana fought till the very end against the alleged killer, Mr. Brian Koberger, alleged killer. It says that suffering noticeable defensive wounds on her hands, Xana Kernodle, I'm sorry, say her name right, Vinny. Xana Kernodle put up a fierce fight when the attacker set upon her, repeatedly grabbing the attacker's knife. And this report says so much so that she sustained deep cuts to her fingers where they were nearly severed, guys. Severed. So almost. So when I read this report, guys, you know, a lot of things, a lot of chatter about this case. So many things around this Idaho 4 case and this college in Moscow and the police, the way they handled it and how they, you know, just how they really communicated with the community and the parents and everybody involved in this crazy tragedy, right? You guys can see a little more chilling. Anyways, sources said Kernodle was the last of the 4 students to be killed at an off-campus home in Moscow, right? Childhood best friends Kaylee and Madison Mogan, who were sleeping in the bed, were killed also. Now, this is the conflicting stories that we get when we're talking about this Idaho 4 case, is that, you know, the police in the beginning, which really boggles my mind and I have a hard time understanding, in the beginning they said that everyone that was in this household was killed in their sleep, when in fact, that wasn't the case. Then we learned that Xana ordered DoorDash around 4 o'clock in the morning. So, I'm sorry, guys. A lot of this stuff just is very conflicting. Now, it says the noise may have alerted Kernodle and her boyfriend, Ethan Chapin, who were on the second floor, to the intruder, the report said. Wow. You know... And then, you know, you guys got to understand this. Like, it's just, you know, the police say one thing, and it's almost like the police said that, you know, the other 2 roommates that were said to be in their rooms. And then we have Dylan, you know what I'm saying? DM saying that, you know what I'm saying? She opened the door once, not twice, but 3 times she opened the door. And if she was intoxicated, if she was on some type of pills or something of that magnitude, that she didn't call the police, but she somehow described the attacker, right? The killer. She described him as having bushy eyebrows. She described him being in all plaid black, walking towards her. You know, there's just so much that was into this, and it just boggles my mind, dude, that she didn't, if she indeed seen someone in the house, right, the killer or whatnot, that she would try to take initiative to do something, right? From this report, you know, it's also conflicting with the affidavits and then what the police said in the beginning. And I'm not saying the police were lying just to say like the police were lying intentionally or they were doing it to cause any harm or like to affect the case. But I mean, dude, they said that, you know, they did say that indeed that, you know what I'm saying, that all the roommates were sleeping when in fact they weren't all, the 4 roommates that were killed weren't all killed in their sleep. The only ones that we know for a fact that were most likely sleeping were Kaylee and Madison, right? Up in their rooms. It says, Ethan Chapin suffered a slash to the neck and was killed in the doorway of Kernodle's room. So this just brings even more doubts in my mind. And you know what I'm saying? I don't like, okay, so we look at this all the times that at the time when the roommates all made it back to their house and supposedly Xana ordered DoorDash around 4 or something. Was it 4:15? This means that Ethan was fighting for Xana. Xana was fighting for her life, dude. She almost had her fingers freaking totally off her hands. You know, we want to remember these victims. And the part that really boggles my mind, that really gets to me, guys, is the fact that if you have all these people in the house, you have Dylan in her room, whether or not she's intoxicated or not, you know what I'm saying? You have people screaming. You have Xana fighting for her life with the killer. Like, if this is the case that she's in the doorway and Ethan's in the doorway and people are fighting and there's just all this commotion, how could you not take initiative to see what the hell is going on? Especially everything that was released in this affidavit. It just boggles my mind to think that the roommate didn't take initiative. I'm not trying to lay weight and say that the roommate is responsible. She did something wrong, but she could. There's no excuse for not calling the police for 8 hours and then calling your friends over before you call the law enforcement the next very morning. The next morning, you know, it raises a lot of questions, guys. I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. You know, especially reading these new reports about all this other shit. Xana fighting to the bitter end. I mean, it says when Colbert allegedly set his sights on Kernodle, Xana Kernodle, right, who fought to the bitter end, and Xana was fighting for her life. So if you can only imagine, the dog was barking, probably locked in the room, Kaylee's dog, and you have Xana holding and struggling, right, probably with this dude and fighting and bruised. They said there was bruises and that were torn by the knife. There was 2 other roommates that didn't say anything, you know, and in the affidavit, it really conflicts what this is. I'm sorry, guys. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me that why wouldn't Dylan, if she's going to peek out of her room and she says the freaking dudes with the suspected killers walking towards her. The thing that I have a problem with is that she said she came face to face with this man as he was leaving the house. And I also wonder why Brian, the alleged killer, why didn't he take out the roommates that were, you know what I'm saying, Dylan? I mean, if she was peeking out, was he exhausted from the killing already? So much into this new revealing and reading this New York Post article. And it's just conflicting with what the police said in the beginning into this case. I really feel like the police really dropped the ball. I mean, they were telling us they were looking for a Hyundai Elantra when they already knew who the hell they were looking for, dude. They were following this dude from freaking Pennsylvania. They stopped his ass in Indiana. So it's just, I just don't understand. I don't understand this whole thing, man. I want to make it make sense. You know, reading this report though, guys, is very troubling to me. It's very, wow, man. And then, you know, all everything else with the gag order in place, and why can't we get a solid truth about, or any answers about, like, seriously, like, why didn't she call the police? Why didn't she do something? I mean, I don't know, man. If that was my house, like I said, these are just my opinions and my thoughts, guys. I'm not trying to blame anybody. All I'm saying is that it's just very suspect that you hear somebody crying and saying they need help, or someone is saying, Enid, I could help you, and you hear kind of commotion, you hear, you know, things dropping like this, you hear all kind of noises. It just doesn't make sense. And then the next day, a lot of hours later, say 8 hours later, you got the friends coming over before the police. What the hell? Contaminating the crime scene. Like, you describe this man as having bushy eyebrows, right? DM, Dylan, right? She described him as wearing all black. I mean, dude. All right. So if in fact that, you know, you're intoxicated or you're a little drunk, I mean, some perspective of others may think that, okay, maybe she's gonna go hide in the closet because she's scared for her life. She don't want to do anything. But the stuff that it's revealing in this article, if it's very true, we know what I mean. Like they're in the doorway of the second floor, correct, of Xana's room. Xana's fighting for her life, struggling with the knife, with the perpetrator. There's all this noise. You can imagine all this noise. She's fighting for her life, guys. There's got to be a lot of commotion. We have a surviving roommate on the second floor, right near there, not very far away, and she doesn't take the initiative. She doesn't call. It's just, I just don't understand it, man. It just doesn't. A lot of people think that it just doesn't make sense, you know. You know, didn't say nothing, didn't call the police. Could it all been prevented if she would have dialed 911? Would it have truly saved any lives? We don't know that, but I just feel like that it was very sudden. Everything happened so quickly, and I wasn't there. You're right. I can't judge why she didn't do this and why she didn't do that. But from what the affidavit reads and then reports coming out, what they read, it's very conflicting of what the police said. And honestly, I'm not knocking the police, but in the very beginning of this case, guys, the police did say that this was a targeted attack. And then they came out and said that the residence was targeted, and they said it wasn't. So, and then they also said that that everyone was asleep when they were killed, and this wasn't the case because Xana ordered DoorDash at around 4 something. Was it 4:12, 4:15? The murders happened shortly after, and now that this report, and if it's true, right? You know what I'm saying? It all kind of seems like it's a little suspicious to me that there's 2 surviving roommates in the house, and one comes out 3 times and doesn't contact anybody and doesn't say anything and doesn't do anything until the very next morning. Come on, man. I mean, give me a break, guys. Give me a break. I mean, make it make sense to your boy Vinny D, the young wolf, baby. It doesn't make sense. I want it to make sense, but it just doesn't make sense. I mean, do something. Jump out of a window. I mean, if a killer was in my house and I heard one of my family members, one of my roommates, I need help. Where's a white Hyundai Elantra? Run! It just boggles my mind, guys. It boggles my mind. Once again, guys, you guys are just joining Vinny's talk. We're talking about the Idaho 4 case, man. This guy, alleged killer Brian Koberger. Justice to all the students involved, man. Kaylee, Maddie, Ethan, Xana, the fighting. She was fighting for her life, dude. Near getting her fingers off of her hands. And still we don't have any answers. Justice for Xana. Justice for Kaylee and Maddie and Ethan. Ethan fighting for his girl too. The design of this house and going back to the police report and just the way that this house is designed. The first floor, you know, was said to be where the roommates were at, right? And that wasn't the case. Xana and Ethan were on the second floor. Maddie and Kaylee were on the third floor. The surviving roommate of Dylan was on the second floor, correct? So make it make sense to me why she heard people make all this noise, you know, noise like this, you know, and not doing anything. Who is it? She's very alert. My dog lets me know if anything happens, right? Then, you know, then you got the dog barking. Murphy, man. Shout out to Murphy, man. Said to be that Murphy was locked in the room, right? I don't know, man. And now we're not going to see a preliminary case until June. So I don't know. It's just very suspicious to your boy, Vinny D, the young wolf, man. All my wolfers, you know what I'm saying? All my subscribers, man. Shout out to y'all, man. I appreciate all y'all, man. Watching all my videos. Rest in peace, Gabby Petito. Rest in peace, Kylie Rodney. You know, it's about justice. And for this case, man, I want it to make sense, but it's just so hard to make it sense. And by the way, today is a little mild outside. It's a little chilly, but it's not as bad as it was the last couple of weeks, man. We had a mild day. The sun's shining. It's your boy Vinny D, the young wolf. It's a true crime session. We're trying to, dig to the bottom of this, guys. Dig to the bottom of this. Shout out to LeBron James, man, getting ready to pass Kareem, right? As we're covering the true crime case, but for real though, man, we it's just it's a strong case. It's a hard one to talk about, and oh man, dude. All I'm gonna say, this guys, is that when this goes to court, we're going to hear what she has to say, Miss DM, Miss Dillon, all right? We're going to hear what she has to say about all of this. It just really boggles my mind, guys, that even if she was intoxicated, drunk, whatever, she could at least pick up the tablet, go on her laptop, you know what I'm saying? Send a message to someone. It seems like nothing happened, and there was so much carnage in that house. All this screaming. I could just imagine Xana fighting for her life. Xana, Ethan in there, still alive. And was it the case that, Maddie and Kaylee were the only ones to die in their sleep, or were they in fact still alive when he came in? But if this is the case that, Xana was truly fighting, man, shout out to Xana, man. Rest in peace to her. But I just don't understand how this roommate didn't hear anything, or if she did hear something, why didn't she say or call somebody? Get the hell up out of the house. If she felt comfortable jumping out the window, then calling, hop out the motherfucking, excuse my language, hop out the window, then call. But a call at that moment. Oh man, dude. It's not so much that it's just hard to understand. And like I said, I don't cast blame. I want to say a prayer for the surviving roommates. Dylan, say a prayer for her too. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not casting blame. It's just crazy to me, guys. It's crazy to me. But yeah, man, I want to thank you guys for joining Vinny's Talk today. A little true crime podcast. Want to hop on a little bit and talk to you guys. We have Titanic anniversary coming up in April. Special podcast coming up in March. After the AZ trip, when I get back, and you guys know what it is, man. I'll be back when I make videos. Sometimes I get caught up in a little busy sometimes with the fam and all that, but yeah, man, this is a tough one, dude. And everything that keeps coming out, we keep learning about it. So, rest in peace. Thank you guys for joining. Until the next time, peace. Vinny D, baby.